The market has been incredibly volatile in 2025, much of which is due to the constant change in President Trump's policies. If the market dislikes anything the most, it's uncertainty. And the first few months of Trump's term have been incredibly uncertain, causing a lot of volatility. Are you worried that the next 4 years are going to be as shaky as the last several months in the market? Well, history has the answer to that question. Keep watching as I tell you what it says. In order to answer the question, do presidents really impact your investing? We went back in history to look at market returns over the last 80 years, and what we found was fascinating. If you're still here, you may be saying, but this time it's different. Let me show you some data to ease your skepticism. So take a look at this. This is since 1926. This is market returns over that time period. And what you can see is through thick and thin, the market has been incredibly resilient no matter which party held the White House. I mean, we had World War I and then the Great Depression. We had World War II. We had the assassination of Kennedy. We had Nixon and Watergate. We had the 70s and stagflation, Vietnam, oil embargoes. We had the roaring 80s, and then of course the dot-com boom in the 90s, which led to the tech wreck of the early 2000s, followed by the great financial crisis of 2008, and then of course COVID in 2020 and the bear market of 2022. There have been no shortage of crisis and panics and reasons to panic, and yet you can see right here, the market has been incredibly resilient over time. You name it, the US and investors have been through it. What we found is that who is in the White House really doesn't matter. You still don't believe me? Take a look at this. So you would think, I'm going to compare and contrast two presidents with diametrically opposed agendas, President Obama and President Trump. And let's compare and contrast asset class returns when President Obama was in office compared to President Trump's first term. And here we have two presidents who couldn't be more opposed than Obama and Trump. Their political agendas were almost opposite each other. Yet the top three sectors in their term were identically the same. Now, not in exact order, but yet they were the same three sectors for both Obama and Trump. And then you have Trump, who's pro-energy, drill baby drill. And you'd think that oil and energy would be one of the top performers. It's in dead last under Trump. And then there's Biden, green and clean, take care of the planet. You'd think energy would be the worst performing sector. It's in first place. So it makes no sense that these asset classes would be performing this way, but it's a great reminder that the markets and the economy are greater than one person and one party. We've covered the person. Let's confirm that on the party. Let's see if who is in Congress or who's in the White House matters. And take a look at this. This shows you what would have happened if only your party were in office while you invested. And you can see that whether you were a Republican or a Democrat, you made some gains. But you're far better off staying invested throughout both party control. In other words, despite who's in office, you're better off to stay fully invested. Still feeling like you just can't hold your nose and remain invested despite who's in office? Well, let's take a look at what your returns would be like if you sold out of spite. This is a great study going back for 30 years, and it shows what would have happened had you remained invested over a 30-year period. You didn't sell anything, you just remained fully invested. Your returns would have been fantastic, almost 10% per year. But let's say you sold and you missed just the best single day in a 30-year period. Your returns were about 0.5% per year less. What if you missed just the best 5 days in a 30-year period? Your returns would be 1.5% per year less. And let's take a look. If you sold and you missed the best 25 days in a 30-year period, that's less than 1 day per year, your returns would be cut in half. So you really need to avoid the urge to sell because of nervousness, fear, or anxiety, and remain fully invested despite what's happening around you. Right now, it may not feel like it, but eventually, this too shall pass. The market will adjust to what policies are going into effect. If you keep calm, don't panic, you're gonna be rewarded with great returns, as many investors have over the years. One of the benefits of working with us at Seaside is that we coach you and your mindset to tune out the noise and focus on the finish line of a stress-free retirement. If you would like help on the journey and have a partner in this, please feel free to contact us and we'd be happy to guide you through the process. Also, if you find this content helpful, make sure to like and subscribe the channel, share it with anyone who can benefit, and we'll see you on the next one.